Break the board, sports, college, hoops on the hardwood Wednesday. Click that like, hit subscribe. Got home with both of our games yesterday. Gave out Clemson +7. It was able to get there. Gave out Florida +5. Snuck in there through that one. Now today, going to focus on three games. First one, Minnesota at Purdue. Again, click that like, hit subscribe. Purdue laying 20.5. Your total 143.5, 75% take count, 82% of the handle going to the over, 25% take count, 18% of the handle going to the under. Now, Purdue, overwhelming support in this game. Books are going to need the Golden Gophers to somehow find a way to keep this one close in this Big Ten matchup. Purdue dropped to number 6 in the rankings after their loss. 77% ticket count, 95% of the handle on the Boilermakers, 23% of ticket count, 5% of the handle on the Golden Gophers in Minnesota. Now, Minnesota offensively on the road, averaging 67.7 points per game, as to where Purdue averaging 85.5 points per game at home. Stark contrast there. When you talk about defensively, Minnesota is giving up 80.3 points per game. Purdue giving up about 10 points less, 70.1 points per game at home. Field goal shooting from the field, Minnesota 45.4% from the field, as to where Purdue 49.61. So Purdue much better offensively, much better defensively. Minnesota has dropped 6 straight on the road at Purdue. They're just 1-6 ATS over their last 7. And then they've dropped 5 in a row to Purdue overall. Month of December, the Gophers 9-2 their last 11. The under is cashed 6 of the last 8 games for the Golden Gophers. Now, we talked about that loss for Purdue. They're still 8-1 over their last 9. The over is cashed 10 of the last 15 Big Ten games Purdue has participated in. They're 8 of the last 10 have went over the total versus Minnesota. And 6-1 their last 7 ATS for the Purdue Boilermakers. Now, again, I think this is a huge mismatch between these two teams. Purdue laying 20.5 is a really, really big number. I don't think I'm going to get to the window on either game for this one. Again, just a really big number. I'm not crazy about stepping in front of, but I do like Purdue in the bounce back spot. That's why I'm not going to take the points with Minnesota. When you have a team that's coming off a loss like Purdue just had, I think Purdue's one of the 5 best teams in the country. But that loss at Iowa State, not only did they lose at home, rather, to Iowa State, not only did they lose, they got absolutely embarrassed there by 23 points. I expect a phenomenal effort by Purdue. That's why I'm not, as a dog better, going to take the Golden Gophers. Just going to be a stay away pass for me on this one. Next game on the board, got Idaho. Want to talk about Idaho and Notre Dame. Notre Dame laying 11 in this game against Idaho. Now, 10.5. There's a couple 10.5s out there if you like Notre Dame. 77% ticket count, 59% of the handle going to the Fighting Irish. 23% ticket count, 41% of the handle going to Idaho here in this one. When you look at this game, Idaho 4-8 straight up their last 12 road games, but 4-1 over their last 5 overall. Notre Dame 10-4 their last 14. They've won 8 straight games at home. And the month of December has also treated Notre Dame good. 5-1 their last 6. Now, Idaho, on the road, Idaho's averaging 77 points per game, as to where Notre Dame averaging 86.2. So about 9.2 points a game better. Idaho giving up 78.8 points per game, and Notre Dame only giving up 69. I like Notre Dame in this spot. I like 11. If you can find a 10.5, I think that's a good bet as well. Idaho, big step up in class going to the Irish. I like the Irish laying this number. Next game, hop into New Mexico Lobos at Virginia Commonwealth. Now, Virginia Commonwealth, tough place to play. 19-1 over their last 20 at home. 5-1 ATS their last 6. 4-1 straight up their last 5. But New Mexico, they've gotten hot as of late as well. They're 4-1 straight up their last 5. Are the New Mexico Lobos. Now they're averaging 73.3 points per game, as to where VCU, they can really get out, push the ball. They've been that way for 15 years now. 87.8 points per game. Minnesota's defense giving up 79.3, as where VCU's giving up 67.8 points per game. Listen, I'd like to see New Mexico. I'd like to lean the points here with VCU laying 9.5 against New Mexico, but just don't think I can get to the window on this one. Just I'm scared of the pace of play for VCU. Again, VCU can really push the ball, pace of play. They can really ratchet it up. Been watching this team for years as they're close to me here in the nation's capital down there in Richmond, Virginia Commonwealth. 9.5, 57% take account, 62% of the handle taking the Lobos, 43% take account, 38% of handle taking VCU. Going to be a stay away for me, but I will say this. If you're watching the game live, if you can somehow get New Mexico to get a 5-6 point lead early, maybe you get VCU. If I could get VCU at like -5 for the game, that would definitely be an in-game live bet that I would look for. We're going to pass on that, going to pass on Minnesota, but I am going to lay, looks like the best number for Notre Dame, 10.5. Click that like, hit subscribe. One more game on the board. Wisconsin at Nebraska for this one. Now, Nebraska been playing really good basketball. Cracks top 25. They're ranked 23rd. Laying 2.5, over under 157.5. 40% ticket count, 56% of the handle going over. 60% ticket count, 44% of the handle going under. When you look at the side itself, 73% of bets, 62% of the handle going to the Cornhuskers. 27% ticket count, 38% of the handle going to Wisconsin. Now, when you look at these teams and you break it down between the two, Nebraska obviously having a great year, 10-game winning streak, 9-4 ATS their last 13, but Wisconsin has really owned Nebraska. They're 9-3 the last 12 meetings with the Cornhuskers, but ATS has not been kind to Wisconsin versus Nebraska. The Badgers just 5-11 ATS their last 16 versus Nebraska. Now, Wisconsin, they got battered a little bit earlier in the season. Now 7-2 against the spread their last 9 games. Wisconsin, 15th best offense on the road, 87 points per game. That's where Nebraska averaging 82.9 points per game at home. Wisconsin's defense, believe it or not, which this team's totally transformed as a kid my whole life. Wisconsin, even up to like the past 3 or 4 years, Wisconsin's been known for defense, low scoring. Not so much here. They're giving up 90 points a game as to where Nebraska only giving up 65 points per game. I like Nebraska here on the money line, minus $1.35. Going to be a play for me. Just a little preview. I like Nebraska to cover here and then lose their next game on the road. We'll get into that. There's a line I'm fishing for. Hope I get. But I'm going to go Nebraska minus $1.35 on the money line, and I'm going to lay 10.5 with the Fighting Irish. Break the Board Sports. I'm RJ Cash, your host. Whether you fade or follow, going to give you betting trends, stats, and information to help you become a better handicapper. I hope you win your bets no matter which way you go. God bless and happy handicapping.